Afternoon, welcome to Sports Today, coming to you live from Dubai. We are just about 3 hours away from India's second match in the Super 4 versus Bangladesh. Remember, Bangladesh, India, the only two teams that have not lost a Super 4 match in this tournament. So that record for the Super 4 in this edition of the tournament will be broken today, definitely, or whatever happens. But of course, the Indian team looking like the favourites to win this encounter, and various reasons for that, and I'll dwell into all those reasons in this video. But before that, just let's take a look at the tournament scenario. Pakistan beaten Sri Lanka. What that means is, if you ask me, I think Sri Lanka are all but out of this tournament. In fact, they are out. In no circumstances, I think they can make the final now. Because even if they were to beat India in the last game, I don't think that's going to be good enough, because one between Pakistan and Bangladesh will definitely end up with 2 wins. This I'm considering that if India beat Bangladesh, which they should, they are the favourites. If India beat Bangladesh today, then Bangladesh-Pakistan, which will be played tomorrow, becomes a virtual semi-final. Whoever wins will have 2 wins and they'll go through, and Sri Lanka is going to be out. In fact, Sri Lanka will be out as soon as India beat Bangladesh today. So India will have 2 wins, and one between Pakistan and Bangladesh will have 2 wins definitely and join India in the final. So that India-Sri Lanka game will be, just for keeping records and stats. It'll have no bearing on the tournament as such. So it can all change around and it can become interesting if Bangladesh were to upset India today. But the chances of that are quite low, and I'll dwell into all of that. Not to say that in T20 cricket you can't have that, but it can. But Pakistan played well yesterday. They had few nervy moments, but from there on won the game, and that's what counts at the end. This whole debate about who's the second best team in Asia, I think they really want to claim that title. Because who's number one is not debatable at the moment at all. It's pretty clear. Not just I'm talking about Asia, but I think in world cricket at the moment, India is operating in T20 cricket at a completely different level. GS Believe, good evening to you as well. Thank you for joining the live stream. But I must talk about Shaheen Afridi's press conference that happened, and I must credit him for conducting himself in the right manner, showing the right kind of attitude in the press conference, because after whatever has happened on and off the field, he could very easily have also fallen into the trap of coming up with bombastic statements or hyperbole. But he restrained from doing that. I think conducted himself with a lot of grace. Multiple questions were asked to him by Pakistani media, one by one, trying to incite him, trying to poke him so that he comes up with an outrageous statement that can become a headline. But he refrained. He was very controlled and very measured in his responses. He was asked about aggression, saying that we are seeing a lot of aggression from you guys that happened in the India game by the Pakistani fast bowlers, then again versus Sri Lanka as well. Is it because of all the things that are happening off the field? Is this aggression an outcome of that? He said, what is happening off the field? I said, no, everything that is happening between India and Pakistan. He said, no, nothing like that. It has nothing to do with that. Our job is to play, and we as fast bowlers are usually aggressive only, and every time we play, we're going to be like that. It has nothing to do with India, Pakistan. He answered that as I said, in a very measured approach. And then later again, 2-3 times those questions were asked. One time he was also asked about, what do you make of Suryakumar Yadav saying that there is no rivalry, this and that. So that also he's answered very gracefully. He said, that's his personal opinion. It's entirely fine. Our job is to play cricket. At the moment, neither has India made the finals, neither has Pakistan made the final. He said, for us as cricketers, as Pakistani cricketers, the first thing that, our first motive is when we come for a tournament is, reach the final and then win that cup. So our focus is to win the Asia Cup, as is everyone else's focus as well. Whichever team comes here comes with the idea. I said, we want to keep it at that. I don't, want to get dragged into, rivalry or not. And he left it at that. So I think he said things with a lot of restraint. So kudos to him. I've criticized Pakistani cricketers for their ill behavior on occasions when they have, but at this time when I think he's conducted himself in a decent manner, then you need to point that out as well. Okay, now turning our attention to the game today, and that's what I'm here for. I don't know if you can see, but there you see those two buildings, the tall one and the short one, and right between that you see a white spot. That is the stadium, Dubai International Cricket Ground. That's where the game is going to be happening, and that's where I'll be bringing you all the latest updates as well. So what do I see of this encounter? You know, because we were talking about rivalry and Suryakumar Yadav saying no rivalry, and he was right because he was looking at facts, he was looking at stat. And then I looked at India-Bangladesh, and then I see the head-to-head, overall head-to-head in T20Is is 16-1 between India-Bangladesh overall. Now, if India-Pakistan is no rivalry, which is a fact because of how far ahead India is, look at India-Bangladesh, so clear-cut India is far ahead of Bangladesh at the moment when it comes to T20I cricket. Yes, Bangladesh is playing good cricket, having beaten Sri Lanka, but I think that rivalry even between India and Bangladesh is skewed completely in favor of India. But then I also looked at, is there anyone who rivals the Indian team currently? And the answer to that is no. From 2024, starting of 2024 to now, almost towards the end of 2025, in these 1.5 quarter to two, almost going to be 2 years period, India's win-loss record in T20Is is 32-3. 32 T20Is they've won, they've only lost 3. This tells you how dominant this Indian team is in T20I cricket. If you ask me, I think it is probably the greatest T20I side ever assembled, and in that I'm also talking about winning a T20 World Cup. So in this last 1.5 years or so, or 1 year 10 months or so, India have been operating on a completely different level. And why I talk about just being Asia's number one, I think in world cricket in T20Is they are number one. Yes, on a given day they can lose, as any team can in T20Is, but this is a format known for being inconsistent, and yet this Indian team has found consistency in terms of their results. Speaks volumes about their talent and their planning and the way they are going about this business. So incredible record that won against Bangladesh and overall. So let's stick to India-Bangladesh. Why I think that it's going to be a massive upset if India lose. As I mentioned, 16-1 is the overall record. That's one reason. Reason number two is, just look at the recent games that happened. I think the last 5 games, it's 5-0. But look at the last games that India played against Bangladesh was that bilateral that happened in India, 3 T20Is they played. And it wasn't a contest. India just didn't win those 3 T20Is versus Bangladesh. They absolutely dominated it. It was not even close in those encounters. And in fact, at one, they were almost going to touch 300, almost reached 300 in one encounter. So just tells you what this Indian team is doing and how far ahead they are of the Bangladesh team. So again, completely dominant when it comes to Bangladesh. That's reason number 2, their recent form as well and how India have dominated. And I think reason number 3 is, I don't know, somewhere Bangladesh tend to take a lot of pressure, I feel, when they take on the Indian team, because they play well against most other teams, cause a lot of upsets, but somehow in crucial games, in big tournaments versus India, they crumble at the last moment, even from winning position. There are so many examples you can think of those encounters where, Bangladesh from a great position have crumbled. That one game where MS Dhoni runs and does the run out, I remember that game. I think it happened in Bangalore, if I'm not mistaken. I'm aging, so my memory may not be 100%. Then I remember 2015 ODI World Cup as well. They were in a good position. There was a controversy about that waist high no ball. I think it was with Rohit Sharma. From there they lost. Then there was that 2022 encounter where in that T20 World Cup game, I think Bangladesh were playing outstanding cricket. They had completely played India out of the game, and then that Litton Das run out that happens. Amazing by KL Rahul. From there, the game completely changed. So somehow I think Bangladesh carry this some baggage when they play versus India, and I guess that's another reason why them beating India becomes tough. Again, I repeat, on a day any team can win. Bangladesh are playing good cricket, they have a good team, but if you look at these three things closely, you have to admit that India start as the overwhelming favourite. Let's take a look at some news from the two camps. I'll give you from Bangladesh team first. There was a bit of a doubt about Litin Das, whether he'll be fit or not to be playing this game, because 2 days ago he had complained of some backache, but what I'm picking up from my sources is that he's fit. He should be available to be playing this game today. Then in terms of the playing 11, they are contemplating making one change, because Shoriful, the fast bowler, was quite expensive in the last game they played versus Sri Lanka, even though they won the game, but he was expensive, giving away I think 43 runs in his 4 overs. So could they be tempted to change him? They have two options. They could either go with the fast bowler in Tanzim, he could be the one gotten in for Shoriful, or you could go with a spinner and get Rishad Hussain to replace Shoriful, the leg spinner. So they have these two options, but looks like they might still play Shoriful is a possibility, but if they make a change, it could be one of them. Can they get in a spinner? I don't think so. I think these three fast bowlers, two spinners could be the right formula for Bangladesh. I think they'll stick to that. That could be with Taskin and Mustafizur being the other two fast bowler, and then they'll go with two spinners. I think that's the formula they will go with. Rishad they could have looked at, but I remember last time I was talking about the India-Bangladesh series, Sanju Samson hitting for 5 sixes. So again, he wouldn't have great memories playing against India. Will definitely have that pressure as well. So would they be doing that? I don't think so. So we'll have to wait and watch on that front when it comes to the Bangladesh team. For the Indian team, there are talks that, and debate over whether you should rest Jasprit Bumrah for this game or not. Well, let me tell you, he didn't come for practice yesterday. Everyone came. Bumrah and Hardik were the two players that didn't come, and I understand that, you want to be rotating players. So I think that is no indication that he's not playing today. If you ask me personally, I think Jasprit Bumrah should play for two primary reasons. One, that remember, this is a crucial game. India still haven't qualified for the final. You need to win this game. So I think you should play your best 11. Don't leave it for last moment, play a weaker team today. What if you lose? Then what do you do for the last game? Lots of pressure. No, avoid all that. Play your best 11 and, win this game, qualify for the final first thing. That's one reason why I think, they should not rest Jasprit. And the second thing is that Bumrah has been a bit off color so far because of the high standards that he sets. So I think for him to get into rhythm, perfect chance. The more he plays, the better he'll get, and he'll be back to his best. So I think for these two reasons, you must play Jasprit Bumrah. The other talking point has been Sanju Samson, whether he should then be in the team, or does him batting in the middle order really suit the Indian team and suit him, considering he's a top order batter? Well, again, if you ask me, I think he is most likely to play, though in practice yesterday Jitesh started the net practice session. It was Rinku, Shivam Dubey and Jitesh that were batting a lot, but I think that was primarily because these are three batters that haven't got a lot of batting in the middle, so they wanted to give them a lot of chance to bat. And Jitesh did a lot of wicket keeping drills as well, but then Sanju also batted a little later in the net session. So I don't know, I think they may stick with Sanju Samson. They might continue with that going forward as well. They will want to give him a longer rope, so I doubt that's the change that India would be looking to make. If you ask me one thing, which I've said earlier, I still think Jignesh is saying, "Hi Nikhil, where can we meet you in Dubai?" At the ground, yeah. I'll meet you at the ground, please. Freaking Awesome is saying fielding is a concern, Nikhil sir. Well, they addressed the fielding. They spent a lot of time doing fielding drills yesterday in net practice, especially Abhishek Sharma was taking a lot of high catches after that drop catch in Pakistan game. Imi K is saying, my favorite Nazbai, I'm a Pakistani living in the US. Given the current vibe, should we start working on getting you US citizenship too, or is there still room for cross-border fans to spread love? Amy, again, no. I'm happy being an Indian citizen. I don't want to take citizenship of any other country. See, I've often said that I talk about cricket and I mention cricket and I try and comment about cricket. Politics is one thing that I do not understand much, and that's why I refrain myself. I've met a few Pakistani journalists there, the ones that have been, quite respectful towards me. I give that respect. We may not be the best friends, and especially considering the, scenario between two countries, it's probably not possible to be good friends. You can't ignore what is happening on the side. So let's be honest about that as well. But yes, I think, it is just human nature that if you give respect, you get respect, and that is the formula I have for anyone, anywhere that I travel in the world. If somebody gives me respect, I'll give them respect back. Does not mean that I have to be best friends. So that, I think, being good friends at the moment, I don't see that happening in the current scenario. Yes, who knows, in the future, India and Pakistan have had turbulent times. It's been a topsy-turvy relationship. There have been good times, there have been bad times, but you must also know that there are issues that need to be dealt with. Until you find a fix of those things, I think it is not possible to have normal relations. So who knows what happens in the future. See, at the end of the day, nobody wants to live in a world where there is war and there is terrorism and all of that. Nobody, right? Everyone wants to, at the end of the day, each person wants to have a good life. They want to do their good job, spend time with their family, go out on holidays, and make the world a safe place. That's the motive that all of us desire. That's the ideal world, the utopian world that we all desire. So yes, if we can work towards that, creating that in the future, why not? Then India Pakistan in the future can have relation like India has with other neighbors as well. So why not? Yeah, coming back to the changes, I would still like India to look at one fast bowler in the team. I think that's the only sort of a missing area for India, and I'll tell you why. Because I think in these conditions, pitches are getting sluggish. They'll be low-scoring games, but I think spinners won't get that sort of grip, and so you may have to look at a fast bowler, especially the one that can change their pace. You've seen bowlers who change their pace. They can do really well here. Mustafizur, I gave an example, is doing well. Fahim Ashraf picked up wickets for Pakistan. Shivam Dube, is picking up wickets for India as well. And I think if you bring in another fast bowler, what that does is also allows you some bowling in the death. Now, death overs, you've been leaking runs because why? You're only one and out fast bowler, and Jasprit Bumrah a lot of times is bowling his 3 overs in power play only. So you don't have that option. And I think spinners, if you see the last game, I think Akshar bowled only 1 over. In that Oman game in Abu Dhabi also bowled 1 over. So I think if you play 3 spinners, one of them is going to be underutilized. You will go to Shivam Dube to bowl that. So if that is the thing, why not keep a cushion of another fast bowler? So I think that should be the right word. So Shubman, I'll come to your question a little later. But yeah, so I think if you get a fast bowler, you can drop a spinner. And it's your call to make. If you want still batting cushion, you keep Akshar, drop one between Varun and Kuldeep. That may sound strange because Kuldeep has been one of your best bowlers, but I'm saying in terms of utilization, sometime you have to drop a good player, whether it's Varun or Kuldeep, just for the combination, so you get the combination right. You do it with batters too sometime. I think you'll have to look at that. But if you don't want that batting cushion, considering your batting is not even getting a chance to bat that deep, then you can keep both Kuldeep and Varun Chakravarti, maybe bring in a fast bowler for Akshar in that sense. That's up to the team to decide whichever way they feel comfortable. But I think you need one out and out fast bowler in these conditions. I think fast bowling will do more. The effect of spinners will go less. And if you see all other teams, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all playing with 2 spinners, mostly 3 fast bowlers. So I guess, it worked here in Champions Trophy. Those were day games. It worked these 3-4 fast bowlers in India also in flat pitches. But I think here, you will have to rethink that option. Shubham Garg, you're trying to be naughty and put me in a spot. So, since you asked me that, I'll answer. What is the pronunciation of the Pakistani opener? And the answer is Fakhar Zaman. For me, that is how it's pronounced. Arey yaar, singing I don't know. Anshu Mishra, kya baat karo yaar? Singing is not a skill that I have. Someday maybe, when I'm very happy, I'll do it. Nishant Ravindra Kumar, Bangladesh, and he said, of course, chance is there for any team. Bangladesh is playing good cricket. They can trouble big teams. They have a history of doing that. But at the moment, if you ask me, I think India favorite, I'd say 70-30 sort of a scenario for the Indian team. अच्छा, अंशु सिंह मेरी वॉइस अच्छी है इसलिए बोल रहे हो यार, थैंक यू अंशु फॉर दैट, बट सुर में नहीं गा पाता हूँ ना, वो भी तो इशू, वॉइस जैसी भी हो सुर भी तो आना चाहिए ना, वो नहीं। गाने सुनता बहुत हूँ, गा नहीं सकता अनफॉर्चुनेटली, प्रैक्टिस करूँगा एंड देन आई डू इट। Pratim is saying, Nikhil sir, love your show. Thank you, Apratim, sorry. Anurag Kajaria is saying press conference. I don't know exactly what time. Team is supposed to be announced today. I'll tell you that. But what time is the press conference? I'm not sure 100%. But the West Indies team will be announced maybe right before the match, or it could be around mid innings, or maybe even at the end. But today, yesterday, AajTak was there at practice, the chairman of selectors. He was having a long conversation with Gautam Gambhir. So I think you'll get to know, but what time, I don't know. Devan has a good option. If Abhishek can be given 2 overs, then we can look at, dropping Aksar and then getting in a fast bowler. That's also true. अच्छा, जगतेश्वर जी मेरी तारीफ़ की है, अरे थैंक यू यार, कभी कभी पता नहीं कैसे हो, ठीक है, थैंक यू गाइस फॉर योर काइंड कमेंट्स, यू गाइस टेक गुड केयर ऑफ योरसेल्फ, आई विल सी यू नेक्स्ट लाइव फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड with Mr. Gavaskar. So no, King D, I don't think it's a win toss win. It used to be like that, Dubai, win toss win the match, but it's not, because the dew is really not set in, so I don't think it'll be an issue. But Preetham is right, India should bat first. You want India to bat first and also win. You want India to practice all sorts of scenarios. I agree, that can happen. That can happen. Chalo guys, take care. I have to get going now. I have to reach the ground and then catch Mr. Gavaskar, and then we'll do a preview. You'll see that on Sports Today. For the moment, this is Nikhil Nas signing off. All of you, take very good care of yourselves. Enjoy the match, and I hope we get a good contest. Bye bye.